This video is brought to you by Soccer.com, North America's largest online soccer retailer. Don't forget to use coupon code 1SR4U13 at checkout for free shipping within the US on any order of $100 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the Puma PowerCat 1 SL in the brand new metallic white, orange, and Hawaiian Ocean colorway. So I'll get the shoes out of the box, get this box out of the way, and if you guys could take a second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here is a look at the PowerCat 1 SL. It is the slightly modified version of the original 112 SL that they have renamed PowerCat 1 SL, as you guys can see right there on the side of the shoe, as well as on the tongue. Now, what has changed from the 112 SL to the PowerCat 1 SL? Not much, to be completely honest. They made some minor tweaks, one being the graphics on the shoe. You can see that this side panel does feature some graphics that I personally think look a lot better. I really like this overall design, and they have changed up the type of synthetic that they're using on the side panel as well, which feels a little bit thinner and a little bit softer, and is personally something that I prefer over the original synthetic. They have also changed the tongue, making it a full thin synthetic as opposed to being a very thin mesh-based tongue. And from what I can tell, the kangaroo leather used on the front of the shoe does feel a little bit softer from right out of the box in comparison to the original version. But everything else is going to be aesthetic changes and has nothing to do with the overall performance of the shoe. And for the most part, I wouldn't say that the PowerCat 1 SL will perform any better or worse than the original 112 SL. So just keep that in mind. Now, the PowerCat 1 SL, I feel, is one of those shoes that is really underrated and a lot of people tend to overlook. It really does have a lot to offer in that it is really lightweight. You get that soft kangaroo leather upper. You also get your rubber striking element, and because of how lightweight it is, and it does have a leather upper and the striking element, you actually get a fair amount of protection as well. Not to mention that the shoe fits really well and it's just very, very comfortable overall. So definitely a really great shoe, especially if you're looking for something that's going to last a long time. Puma has very good build quality on the PowerCat models, and this is definitely something that you can count on to last you at least a full season's worth of play. Now, as far as this shoe goes, this is something that I'm personally interested in doing a playtest on. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys would be interested in seeing a playtest on the PowerCat 1 SL. And if enough of you are, I definitely will work on it and I'll get that up as a future video. Now, to talk about the specifications of the upper on this shoe, it features kangaroo leather from this seam here, wrapping all the way around the forefoot toe box, and then covers pretty much the entire midfoot of the boot. It's all made from very soft kangaroo leather that has a decent amount of thickness to it, but for the most part it is fairly thin. On the instep here, where you do have your graphics, that is made from a full synthetic material that is not going to overstretch, and when you do pull the laces tight, it does a good job of locking your midfoot down inside of the shoe. So that's definitely a good thing. You can see that you do have your slightly off-centered lacing, with the laces being pushed slightly to the outside. Like I mentioned earlier, a very thin synthetic tongue, and it is very, very thin, but for the most part it's pushed off far enough to where it doesn't really affect your touch on the ball. And then of course you do have the Puma 3D PST striking element, and basically it's made out of a dual density plastic, TPU plastic material that's basically embedded underneath the leather itself, making for a very responsive feel when you strike the ball. It's not so much about surface area as it is about kind of not eating up any of the power when you actually strike the ball, because it is a firmer material. It's very difficult to explain how the striking element works, but it's not so much about the rubber on the surface area. As you can see, there's not very much of it, but when you actually strike the ball on that particular part of the foot, it's very, very hard, and like I said, instead of having a soft leather feel, you have a very firm and responsive feel on the ball, which is something that I personally really prefer, and it's definitely one of my personal favorite striking elements out there on the market. It really does work well, and something worth trying if you haven't tried it already. You do have an external heel counter, as you guys can see, which will provide some minimal protection if you do get kicked in the heel, as well as help to lock your heel in place. You do have a very thin textured kind of synthetic material around the heel liner and ankle collar area that is fairly comfortable and does a good job of locking your heel down inside of the shoe. I'll give you guys a quick look at the insole here. It's pretty much just a mesh-based insole. You have your PowerCat SL or super light logo there at the bottom. It's pretty much just EVA foam with some perforations going through there. Very minimalistic and lightweight to match the rest of the shoe. And as you guys can see, the sole plate does feature the same PowerCat stud pattern as the standard version of the PowerCat. The difference here is that the PowerCat SL is going to feature a much thinner sole plate, which is part of the reason why it is so much lighter, which you'll see a little bit later in the on-feet and the weigh-in portion portion of the video, sorry. So you do have your bladed stud pattern, and the blades themselves actually do a really good job of providing good stability and multi-directional traction while still maintaining plenty of maneuverability once your foot is planted. Again, one of my personal favorite stud patterns to use. Even though I do prefer conical stud patterns, I really like this particular bladed stud pattern. And you also have a lot of blades here in the heel, 6 instead of your usual 4. So for the most part, this is a very stable stud pattern and a great one to use if you are playing on slightly harder ground. And just to show you guys the sole plates here, they kind of match up. They're a little bit different. They got 2 kind of separate patterns, which is kind of cool, and it just matches when you have the left and right there. And again, just kind of a unique element that this particular shoe does have. So that's pretty much it as far as the unboxing portion of the video goes, and we'll move on to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. Like I mentioned earlier, the PowerCat 1SL is a lot lighter than you might expect, especially considering the solid feel of the shoe and the amount of protection that you get. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.2 ounces, which is very lightweight for a shoe that has this much bulk. And that's not to say that this is a bulky shoe. It's just kind of surprising that it does weigh that little when you do have that much shoe on your foot. So that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of the video goes. And I'll move on to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and what the sizing is like. Alright, here's a look at the PowerCat 1SL's on feet. And from right out of the box, the shoes are relatively comfortable. Like any kangaroo leather soccer shoe or any natural leather shoe in general, some break-in time is required just to allow the leather to soften up and stretch to your feet. And you will get some decent amount of stretch out of this particular shoe, more towards the outside of the forefoot as opposed to the instep, because you do have those plastic inlays in the leather itself. As far as the overall fit of the shoe goes, it fits very comfortably. It's not an overly narrow fitting shoe at all. I would say the tightest part of the shoe is definitely going to be in the toe box area. But again, it's made from leather, so you will get some stretch out of the shoe after a couple hours of break-in time. The forefoot and midfoot aren't overly narrow either. So if you do have a slightly wider foot, you shouldn't have any issues fitting into this particular shoe. As far as sizing goes, it is a little bit tricky, and that I feel like the PowerCats fit about a quarter size small. So instead of wearing my usual size 9, I'm wearing a size 9.5 here, and the fit and the length is pretty much perfect. So for the most part, if you are looking to order a pair for yourself and you want a good fit, I would recommend going a half size up. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of this video goes, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the PowerCat 1SLs. If you would like more information on the overall performance of this shoe, be sure to check out the full written review on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com, where you'll also find the high quality images of this pair here, as well as buy it now links with the best prices online, including some exclusive SR4U coupon codes. Again, down below in the comments, if you guys have any questions or you are interested in seeing that playtest video, be sure to let me know. And if you guys could leave a like on the video as well, it would be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for daily videos on all the latest soccer gear. If you guys want to follow me on any of the latest social media platforms, you can find links to all of those down below in the description. And other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.